okay? It was nice. I mean, I was probably the highest paid student that I was aware of in my class. All right, my class was very small, by the way. We only had 11 students, but six of the 11 students went to DeFasco, so they had really good salaries. And most of the rest of us, we were a little lagging, but after I got my raise, I was doing pretty good. The second thing that happened to me in stats, which was fantastic, I mean, you could never, ever predict this to happen, and I'm telling you, I was worried for my job when it happened. I walked into this company, BAT Canada. It was my second day on the job. The first day I talked to the plant manager, signed all these papers, and said, I'll sign my life away, you know, and whatever. The second day, I walk in across the plant floor. I go sit in the office that's going to be mine. And this little short French guy, I swear to God, he walked so fast, I think he was walking on air. That's how fast he was going. I'm not kidding. This guy, if you think I talk fast, I couldn't believe it. He grabbed me. Like I had a jacket on. This company was a very sophisticated company. They were very British, so you had to wear dress clothes. He grabbed me by the shirt. He says, "You got to come with me." And he's a French guy. And I said, like, "Excuse me, but who are you?" And he said, "Well, my name is Yvon Lessard. Don't you know who I am?" And I said, "I'm sorry, I don't have any idea, but I'll come with you anyways." As soon as we turned the corner of my office, standing in front of me was 12 risk management people from New York Stock Exchange. And basically, they were validating whether the plant was risky enough that they could compromise our status on the New York Stock Exchange, on the London Stock Exchange, everywhere in the world that these guys were trading. I haven't even done an orientation yet. I don't know crap about anything, right? And he says, "You got to help me. Nobody else is here." Everybody was at the coffee break. It was 9:40, right? Everybody was at coffee break. Nobody was on the plant floor except me, dumbass, and this guy. He grabs me, he says, "Come on, you got to help me. You got to talk to these guys." I left that office at 9:40. I didn't get back to that office until 3:30. Wow. I had those guys on the production floor, and all I did was talk about stats the entire time. We were in a facility, I didn't know at the time, right? You go to this bank of these monitors, and of course I could see weight, average volume, average tar, average this, average that, and I was pointing out, look, these are in control, these are not in control, there's going to be an automatic mechanism kicking in, and every example I showed, I had to repeat it several times because there's 12 of them, right? It was a noisy environment. The guy says, this guy, Yvon, he never said boo to me. He just basically left, you know. He left me at a machine, and I'm going, okay, where'd these guys go? And I'm going, okay. And I was terrified because I figured for sure he'd say, "You know what, you did a good job, you did okay, you know, whatever," right? You'd think he'd say something. And I thought, oh my God, I think I'm going to get fired. And the guy that I'm training with has no freaking idea where I am. No idea. And I'm going, okay, it's 4 o'clock. He already left. And I'm going, all right, I guess I got to leave too. So I wasn't sure I was welcome back the next day. Next day I get there and I get immediately called to the manager's office. His name is Myhill. And Myhill says to me, he's the plant manager, he says, "You got a job for life." He said, nobody could have expected you to do what you did. And he said to me, he says, "What did you tell them exactly for 5.5, 6 hours?" I just said I talked about stats. I saw these charts, so I described everything I could under the sun about these charts and how stats affected our production. And I said, some of the time I was really BSing it, but they didn't know. But honestly, 3/4 of it was all truthful, right on basic stats, you know. These are production employees. They don't know very much about what needs to be really done other than the fact that they see these control limits. And they say, okay, product gets up here, we have an out of control situation. What does that mean? Well, that means the standard deviation has changed. And then you start describing that stuff, right? I took over operational training at that facility, and they initially wanted to defunk the department, and it ended up that I went from having a department of 6 analysts to 18 analysts, and at one time I had up as many as 26. So is stats important? I'll tell you right now, it's the cornerstone of my life. It's the cornerstone of what gave me a lot of security and opportunity to advance myself. And I do, I've always believed in it, I really have. On an everyday basis, we were the number one company. You guys understand what market share is, I hope, right? You guys in admin or marketing or?
Admin.
Admin, okay, you guys probably still know about marketing. I know you. We had 62% market share. So every time any product, we dominated the market share in terms of placement in the market too. So anytime we had any consumer complaints, what happens is that you plot month by month or sequence by sequence, right? Some products were made on an 8-week sequence, most were made on a monthly sequence, some were made on 8 weeks, some were made on 12-week sequences. So you look at the rate of complaints and you do a paired t-test to find out if the rate is higher than normal or not. Because you know, there's always noise in the system. There's always somebody who wants something for free, and that's a pretty nice chunk. But guess what? As soon as it moves above or below, you know something's gone on. When something's gone below, you want to analyze those machines, that product, that process that's giving you a better result, lower cost. Higher productivity, higher profit, more profit sharing. When the rate goes up, you got to ask yourself, how many customers are going from here and buying my product and going here and buying their product? And at the end of the day, if you really realize what's going on, is that you want to keep them on this side of the ledger. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to keep you employed and in business for the long term and not the short term. Most of you are in business administration, you said?
Yep.
Most of you will become interim managers and possibly, hopefully, your own managers in the future. You will need to know the value of quality, statistics, and management of customers and customer appreciation. Okay? I'm not sure what else I can tell you. I work really, really hard at what I do